My name's Dave DeBoe, founder of MoneyPartnerFormula.com, and this show is built for everyday real estate investors who are actively doing deals and looking to scale using other people's money. So if you're an active real estate investor and you want to get featured on this show to talk about your own real estate and capital raising experiences, then just go to daveinterviewsyou.com. Now let's get rolling with this episode, and remember to subscribe for daily interview content. Welcome back, folks. We have another amazing guest on the show here today, Brian Heller, who is zooming in all the way from beautiful Nashville, Tennessee. And Brian brings some interesting perspective into the whole multifamily space, because for a number of years, Brian was actually a commercial real estate broker. He was helping buyers purchase apartment buildings. And he did a whole bunch of those, a whole bunch of transactions. And it dawned on him that, hey, you know, being a broker is cool, but being the guy that's actually doing the deals, the buyer, the syndicator, is a way better part of the equation. So he switched into that, and now he is a successful real estate syndicator. So Brian, welcome to the show. Great to have you here.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Dave.
Okay, so I kind of gave people the big picture overview, but what was that epiphany moment when it just kind of all came together for you? That's like, hey, I've had enough of, you know, selling people apartment buildings and making a commission. That's okay, but now I want to be the guy involved in buying these things.
I mean, you kind of just hit the nail on the head, right? The $100,000 commission check was nice, but I was seeing that my clients were making $1 million, and so it doesn't take a math genius to figure out that $1 million sounds better than $100,000, right? But there's also, I think, the aspect of building something, right? When you're the broker, you're living commission to commission, but when you're the syndicator or the operator, you're actually, building something and, taking a project from concept to completion. That's something that I've always really enjoyed. And so the opportunity to do that, and I think the opportunity also to bring other people along with me, to bring investors into these opportunities, to allow them to build generational wealth as well, was a great opportunity for all of us to endeavor into real estate together in a more productive manner.
Yeah, for sure. So maybe walk us through, because there's a gazillion syndicators out there, good, bad, ugly, in between. I think it's the herd is getting thinned out a little bit these days with what's going on with interest rates, and the boom times have subsided. So a lot of unprofessional syndicators are getting washed out there. So I think you bring some unique perspective to your syndication. So maybe talk to us a little bit about how you're able to kind of see things from different angles.
Yeah, well, with the 15 or so years experience I have, I've really worked in a number of different facets of real estate. Oftentimes you get people that come into syndication from a number of different fields, whether it be, IT professionals or people quitting their W-2 jobs and getting into it. And oftentimes, especially in the last cycle, they were able to have success. But as you mentioned, a lot of them are getting washed out, or they're the people right now having issues. So what's unique about me is, and what I've been able to do over this 15 years is, so I started off rock bottom of the last cycle in brokerage, and obviously got to help a number of clients, to execute their business plans, and got to watch them execute it. And even more so, I got hands-on experience as an on-site manager in Los Angeles, where I was living at the time. If you have a building of 16 units or more, you need to have an on-site manager. So one of my syndicator clients brought me in, and what's great about it is basically we paid $500 a month in rent for a $2,000 a month plus apartment, but our job was to collect rents, deal with the tenants, let ownership know if there was issues with the trash, and when drains clogged, and things like that were affecting the entire building, if it was flooding, or during the holidays with the Amazon rush that we needed an extra trash run. And so that was a really great opportunity to really hands-on learn so many different things in terms of day-to-day operations, and just general knowledge that you really can't get unless you're just living in a building every single day, and going through the four seasons of the year and seeing the different temperaments of the tenants. And
Yeah, for
there's
sure.
always one problem tenant, right? No matter how, I mean, this was a property right off the Sunset Strip in Los Angeles, so you can imagine the types of the different personalities of all the tenants, right? So but then ultimately, like you mentioned, I decided to move to Nashville to get more onto the principal side of things. And since I've been here, I've built houses, which really gave me an insight into the construction aspect of everything. And ultimately went on to the principal side, doing apartment syndications. And so my ability to see deals from a lot of different angles helps immensely, starting all the way from the underwriting phase through the due diligence phase and ultimately into the execution of the business plan. And so I think the experience I have from all these different angles really helps to focus and help to hopefully eliminate a number of the risks and stuff for my investors and in our projects.
So, Brian, a lot of syndicators are GPs on the projects that they're involved in, and they kind of have one kind of responsibility, and there's several other GPs that specialize in different things. Is that how you do syndications, or are you guys the one and only GP, and you bring on a lot of investors as LPs? How's it kind of work for you guys?
I mean, in general, I like to keep the GP team as small as possible.
Mhm.
And then we ultimately will hire third party management. We're not a vertically integrated company. So, in general, it's us, sourcing the deal, doing the due diligence, doing investor relations and raising the capital. We will oftentimes, bring in additional capital raisers if needed for a deal. But ideally, we like to be involved in the asset management and, like I said, bring in third party management, and then have obviously a team of lawyers, accountants, and other third party vendors as needed on a project by project basis.
So, how many of you are there in Fairway Equities? How many uh, partners and employees? What does the team look like these days?
Yeah, I mean, Fairway Equities is really just myself and my
Mhm.
company. But like I said, we partner. I have a few strategic partners that we've done deals with in the past, and that I've started working with, so that Fairway Equities and what I'm able to personally cover is really about is Nashville and 4 hours around Nashville, because we always want to have boots on the ground for our
Yeah,
deals. But I have some strategic partners in the Denver market, the Phoenix market, and the major Texas markets that we'll work with, so that we can help to diversify our clients' investments throughout the country. But personally, my main focus is Nashville, Knoxville, Chattanooga. Those would be my top three markets that I'm able to cover. Those are one in my backyard of Nashville, and two, Knoxville and Chattanooga are around
pretty
two to
close.
2.5 hour drives. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
yeah, very very cool. So, Brian, sounds like you got a 15 years. I love the fact that you've got experience in so many different facets. So all the way from helping, the brokerage side of things and analyzing properties from that and kind of making sure the deal's a deal for your clients. And then also from property management, hands on, having that experience dealing with tenants and toilets. So now you can really manage the managers, which is, imagine you use third party people to manage the properties. And also, you got involved in construction. So it's going to be hard for handyman and construction companies to pull one over on you because you kind of know what to look for there. Um, yeah, that's a valuable set of skills to bring to the whole table. So when it comes to the raising capital side of things, what do you find works the best for you to bring on new capital partners or the LPs or whatever that looks like for you?
yeah, I mean, I think it's really about having a lot in common. People want to invest with people that they know, like, and trust. And
Mhm.
certainly the people I've been most successful with are friends and family, and obviously everyone that's invested in our past deals and had success and seen the results. That's obviously the most important way and the best way, I guess, to certainly keep investors, right, is to perform. But in terms of new investors, that's something I'm really working on building out right now. I'm actively, looking to generate more content and give back and try and help more people to realize the power of investing in multifamily real estate.
No, that makes a lot of sense. So what are the plans moving ahead, Brian? What comes next for you and your company?
I mean, what comes next is, like I said, is getting more investors, more like-minded people into our stable of investors, so that we can, help as many people as possible to build generational wealth and find a path to financial freedom. And I think the a lot of the rest might right now be up to just a little bit of patience and the Fed. But markets do seem to be thawing. More deals do seem to be coming out. Um, I think it's just about finding that sweet spot between buyers and sellers right now so that we can find deals that hit the metrics that we're looking for, and continuing to stay patient and continue to stay focused, not going outside our buy box, or our core values to find a deal, but really sticking to our guns and making sure that we find opportunities that are attractive for our investors and that will hopefully put them at the lowest risk, with the opportunity for the highest level of returns.
So as we're wrapping up our conversation here, Brian, if you kind of had to boil things down and, synthesize one or two keys to your success as a real estate entrepreneur, what would you kind of say that is? Like what do you do better or differently than most other folks that either comes easy or natural to you?
Well, I think one thing is definitely knowing it's always better to not do a deal than, to do a bad deal. A lot of things that I'm seeing out there right now, or people bringing deals and stuff, potentially to me to partner on with, when I look at their numbers and really dig in, it really seems to be almost a perfect scenario in order to really execute on it.
And
Sorry.
another kind of key to success that you found over the years?
Another key to success is I think certainly making sure that you have boots on the ground and a really strong team, especially on the management side of things, because you can buy the property right and you can finance the property right, but if you don't manage it right, then you're not going to execute your business plan. That's another thing. I see a lot of deals right now coming to fruition where maybe people ran out of capex money and things like that, and so I guess some of that goes back to the overall business plan, but it also goes back to, I think, the management and really asset managing a property well, because you can't just hire third party property management. You really do have to keep an eye on them, have a strong relationship with them, have great communication, and really make sure that you're working hand in hand in order to, in most cases, really execute that business plan. And especially if you want to, supercharge it and hopefully outperform your numbers, that relationship is paramount.
So I mean, I know you're in a number of different markets. You've got different property management companies working for you in different places. How do you pick one? Like what's your process? Because there's, especially in bigger markets, there's probably a lot of options. How do you really narrow it down to the one that you think is going to work the best?
Yeah, certainly, going with referrals from other syndicators that that I know in the marketplace, but then just interviewing them, right? Or even just giving them some little tests and stuff before you interview them. Like, I have a questionnaire that I'll send to them, and you'd be shocked. In the last market, I was looking at a deal. I think we sent the questionnaire to 10 different um, management companies, and only like 4 or 5 of them send it back. So there's a mark right there. I mean, if you can't even send back a simple questionnaire, then I said that already cut it down in 50%. Then you can interview them, and then if you start asking things like, well, we're going to want to do a weekly call with you, and if they start pushing back on that, then you get down to 3. And then you kind of then you got at least 3 to deal with, and then like I said, referrals, and talk. I always talk to you try and talk to some of their best clients, so to speak, and then then it's all you can do is do your best, right? Is anyone these days can put their best foot forward, but I mean, you can
Yeah.
tell a lot from someone's website, from meeting with them in person, from the questionnaire, from referrals. That's a pretty good starting point right there.
Yeah. Perfect. Now, once you've got a management company that you're working with, you talk about really being in, really making sure they're pulling their weight. So what are some of the things that you do to manage the managers?
Well, like I said, first off, just weekly calls, regular communication, making sure, I mean, unit turns are definitely one of my biggest things, and making sure that those happen quickly, happen on time, and happen on budget. If there starts to be issues with that, that's certainly something. Potentially, secret shopping some of their other deals and things like that as well is a great way to see what's going on with the company.
No, that's good advice. Awesome. Well, Brian, thank you very much for sharing your experience. And if people want to connect with you and find out more, where can they go?
Absolutely. The best way to get a hold of me and take advantage of some of our free resources is to go to our website, which is just www.fairwayequities.com. Again, that's www.fairwayequities.com. Would love to connect with you and have you on board of one of our next opportunities in the near future.
Awesome. Thanks for being on the show, everybody. And everybody, Brian and everybody else, take care. We'll see you on the next episode. Hey there, I really hope you enjoyed that episode. And as always, if you want to listen to more daily interview content, make sure you subscribe. And if you're an active real estate investor and you're doing deals and you'd like to get featured on this show, then just head over to daveinterviewsyou.com. Now, at moneypartnerformula.com, we help real estate investors to create a process for predictably getting capital so they can do more deals without relying on hard money lenders or the banks. We do this by building them a private capital marketing system. Now, if you want help turning yourself into a big money capital attraction machine, then book a call with our team to see how we can help. Just visit moneypartnerformula.com to find out more. All right, take care, and we'll see you on the next interview.